All right. Good afternoon or good evening, Sac State graduates. Thank you for joining us for our Q&A panel. We're going to be discussing all things networking, job searching, volunteering, and grad school. So congratulations, you've done the celebrating of your accomplishments. But you might be asking yourself, I've graduated. Now what? We want to reassure you that is a totally normal question to be asking. And our goal today is to provide you with some helpful tools, some resources, and some perspective to get you thinking about what's next. So, some options that might be out there for you. I'm joined by four panelists today. They have expertise to share. They've not only been in your shoes, I think almost all of them are alumni of Sacramento State themselves, but they've then gone into a profession that includes working with students or working with recent graduates who are thinking about their next steps as well. So all here to support you, we promise. I'm Laura Breedlove McDaniel, she, her pronouns. I'm the Senior Alumni Relations Officer of the Sacramento State Alumni Association, so your alumni association. And this is just one of many programs that the Alumni Association puts on twice a year, um, along with other events throughout the year. So as a member of the Sacramento State Alumni Association, you have many opportunities to engage with your peers, other Sac State alumni, the surrounding Sacramento community. We're actually up to 310,000 Sacramento State graduates at this point after May's ceremonies. So we definitely encourage our alumni to stay connected. There's a variety of ways to do that. We send out a monthly email newsletter and other intermittent email communications as well. There are events happening routinely, particularly during kind of that school year period. Um, there's volunteering opportunities as a mentor, serving on our committees or a board, chapter leader positions, network liaison, the list goes on. Um, so we're throughout the webinar here, the series, the video, we will share some useful links so you can claim your membership, check out our events page. And then, of course, we do have a presence across social media platforms. So great ways to help you stay connected to Sacramento State and to other Sacramento State graduates who are now alumni just like you. So we're going to kick off our program today. I'd like to welcome our panelists, and I will invite them to introduce themselves. They'll share their name, pronouns, role, department or organization that they're representing, and the degrees they've earned as well. We'll kind of go through a little Q&A, and there will be a chance to respond to some audience questions at the end as well. So we have a Q&A tool at the bottom of your screen. But let's get those intros started first. Erin, why don't you kick us off?
Hello, hello. I'm Erin Mahoney, they, them pronouns. I'm the Student and Recent Graduate Engagement Officer here at the Sacramento State Alumni Association. I got my bachelor's from UC Riverside, but I can now say that I'm a Sac State alum. I just finished my master's program for creative writing, and I'm glad to be here.
Congratulations once again. We work in the same office, so I've congratulated you before. And then let's jump to Erica.
Hi there, my name is Erica Villalobos. I am a career development and financial wellness counselor here at the Sac State Career Center. I too am Sac State made. I earned my Master's of Science in Counseling with specialization in career development, and I'm so happy to be here today.
Thank you, Erica, and congratulations to you, even if it's not as recent as Erin's. Rhonda.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rhonda Staley-Brooks, she, her pronouns. I am the Director of Community Relations, Outreach, and Support at SMUD, which is your local utility. I have an undergraduate degree from Sac State, 1995 in Child Development, and an EMBA from Sac State. So double stingers for me in 2018.
Awesome. We love the twice made at Sac State. And Jose.
My name is José Martinez. I'm the grad admissions lead for the university. got my undergraduate degree at the University of San Francisco back in 1995. I did do some graduate work, although I did not graduate here from Sac State. I have been working in graduate admissions since 2000, actually 2005, so 20 years, working primarily grad admissions.
Wonderful. Thank you. We consider you made at Sac State too, Jose. So thank you all for joining us today. We'll spend about 40 minutes learning from our panelists. Resources, or they're going to share some resources that are available to you, focusing on the areas of mentoring, job searching, volunteering, and graduate school. So like I mentioned, if you audience members do have questions, there's a Q&A button, Q&A feature on the bottom of your screen, and we'll do our best to answer those during our discussion, or if something prompts you to ask kind of outside what you hear or related to what you hear, we can follow up at the end of our discussion or in a follow-up email or on our resources. If you're watching this later, we'll include those with the video. All right, so let's get started. I think for the most part, people are kind of job and career oriented. So I wanted to start with Erica. As students transition from the student to the alumni role, do recent grads still have access to those services at the Career Center? Can you kind of share how alumni can also access those services that are offered by the Career Center?
Yes, of course, and definitely. You definitely want to make sure that you stay connected with us. Visit our website, the Career Center here at Sac State. The link has been posted in the chat for you. Until further notice, we offer all of the exact same services and resources to alumni that we do to students. So if I'm not mistaken, your single sign-on, Sac State single sign-on continues to work for 2 years after graduating. And you can use that link to access all of the services and resources through our Sac State Career Center website. After those 2 years, once the single sign-on stops working, you just connect with us and we'll be able to provide you what you need to continue accessing the resources and services. Alumni actually get 6 visits with the Career Center a year. For the most part, not that many are needed. And we support everything career related. And that's starting with helping with job search, providing assistance with career documentation like resumes, cover letters, the process with career development, interview coaching, understanding networking, helping with LinkedIn profiles, staying connected. We also provide alumni access to a lot of our all of our events and our workshops. So, for example, the first week of October, we're going to be having our career fair. We strongly encourage alumni to come over and connect with more than 100 employers, if only to network. Although, if you connect with us beforehand, we certainly can help you preparing participating with the career fairs. We also have resources under our featured tools on our website that you can find very much helpful for job searches or, again, career documentation or career exploration, including what can I do with this major to explore what are some of those options out there, what are some strategies to use to get into the career of choice, finding those associations, experts in the fields that can help you get some really good insights for your career research as well as employment opportunities. You can find Labor Market Insights, which is an excellent job search tool. So there's a lot of great resources on our website alone. I encourage you to look at our counseling topics so that you can understand what is the extent. Of course, it's not an exhaustive list, but quite a significant list of all of the career-related services that we can help you with your career journey. So please do consider connecting with us. We do connect with you both in person and virtually if you're unable to come to campus. We have 45-minute sessions to really help you delve into exploring where you are at with your career journey and we can help you with that as well.
That's wonderful. And I love virtual and in-person options, of course.
Mhm.
So if as a grad you are leaving the area, which happens not often, but it happens, those services are still very much available to you. So that's great to hear. Um, you touched a little bit on kind of what to do with the degree you have. So I wanted to ask Erin too about this piece of mentorship and what is the importance of having a mentor and maybe how recent grads can get some advice or some mentorship from people in their degree field or maybe the career field they're thinking about.
Sure. I think step one is to be sure you join the Alumni Association so you can get all our emails about the events that we hold, many of which are career driven or networking, ways to keep you connected with your fellow Sac State alumni who can help you on your career journey. Another piece of that, like you mentioned, is mentorship. Um, I like to think of mentorship as kind of three-pronged, the benefits that you get. Obviously, you get the guidance, people who can help you uh, figure out the next steps. You don't know what you don't know, so talking to someone who has been where you are and are now where you want to be is a great way to visualize that for yourself. So there's guidance, and then there's networking. So those relationships that you build can help you find connections and find opportunities. And then I also just think confidence to have someone see you, see your potential, really get an idea of what you're capable of when you talk to them about your experience and your goals, can help build that confidence that will set you apart from your competitors when you're applying for jobs. Um, so by joining the Alumni Association, uh, like I said, you'll stay connected to Sac State. And one thing that we do offer is our career network, our online platform that we, as an alumni association, co-sponsor with the Career Center as a way for students and recent alumni and alumni of all stages of their career to connect with each other. And this platform has a way for alumni to sign up to offer their advice and be a mentor. And users are able to connect with each other via the platform without sharing any personal details. And you'll be able to browse by like career area or major or specific companies. So you can find someone that really matches what you're aiming for and connect with them and learn everything possible from them.
And that's another virtual space too, right? So available from anywhere to anywhere, kind of making
That's
those
right.
connections.
And you
Yeah.
can sign in with your LinkedIn profile, or
Oh,
you can sign in with your Sac State prof login, as long as you remember to change it when that's no longer your main email.
awesome. Thank you. Yes, you both mentioned the single sign-on. Do want to, kind of give that fair warning that campus IRT, information services, information technology, will not let you have it forever, but you do have it for now as a way to stay connected a little bit. But going beyond that, you will want to make sure you have some other communication links to Sac State so you can continue getting updates and using resources as well. Um, Rhonda, to you, maybe the career field's a little impacted. Maybe you're not sure what your career field is. Um, can you share like what skills and benefits volunteering actually kind of gets you after graduation? Kind of get your feet wet, get some resume lines filled in?
Yes. Yeah, you talk about it. You either during your time at Sec State, you had a paid internship or you volunteered for free. Maybe you got through your degree without having to do an internship, depending on where you are. So let's talk about those who did intern. If you intern, you can put that volunteer experience on your resume and really be able to speak to the lessons learned during your internship while you were an undergrad. If you're graduating, you haven't done anything, you want to go out and find what you're passionate about. You can align it to your degree or not, depending on what your passions are, and find a place for you to be able to give your time and talent to. Now, the next question I know she's going to ask me, well, how do I do that? So you connect with United Way. United Way has hundreds of nonprofits that are vetted in our community that are always looking for volunteer work. It may be at your church. It may be through on Facebook. You see friends that are doing fundraisers for certain nonprofits. You might ask them questions about those nonprofits and see if they need your assistance. There's plenty of ways to find out what you're passionate about. I should have said this with the earlier group. AI and you have a discussion. I know me and chat go back and forth on things all the time and really narrows down the scope of what I want to do. So I always tell people they'll find your passion. My son has a degree in economics from Sac State. He hates it, right? And so we have daily conversations about his next move. And I tell him that he needs to go find a volunteer project that he is passionate about, but keep your day job. So I just recommend if you have not done any work in a volunteer capacity that you do it. And then what I would teach you how to do with that information is transform it to real life work experience. The time you volunteer in a free capacity can be just as equivalent to the time you do in a paid capacity. So you have to be able to really sell yourself in your cover letter.
That's great. Thank you. I like get the parental advice in there too.
Yes.
Always helpful. Um, are there expectations for volunteering? So maybe if you have found work, you do have a full-time job. Is there a range of how much you can volunteer? Where to find your place?
Yeah, trust me, any nonprofit will take you as little as an hour a week to 30 hours a week. So you have to set what's realistic for you. Volunteering should not feel like a stressor for you. You should be doing something that you enjoy. But you can also be realistic about your time. I work full time, but I also volunteer for a ministry for my church. I'm very realistic about what I can and cannot do with regards to keeping my day job. I always call it my day job and my side job, right? My side job is purely on my volunteer time when I'm able to give without driving myself crazy. And so you want to make sure that you're realistic about what you signed up for. Don't just go crazy and sign up for 40 hours on top of your 40-hour work week. It's not the way to go because you want to remember that's your future reference. The last thing you want to do is not fulfill the promises that you set, and they won't want to do your reference in the future.
Always that quality over quantity argument. Make sure it's a meaningful opportunity and relationship for sure. I'm going to switch gears a little bit. I know some of you out there are already thinking about maybe another academic journey for yourself and graduate programs. So, Jose, can you speak a little bit about when is graduate school a good option? How soon do we start thinking about it, or where does that cycle start?
Well, thank you, Laura. Again, it's never an easy question because really it depends on what you're doing. For instance, if you want to be a teacher, you got to get a credential. That's just the way it is. If you want to be a counselor, you need to get a master's degree. But if you're going into civil engineering, computer science, you just need a bachelor's to get started. So the first question is, do I need something beyond my bachelor's degree to move into my career? And so if not, you got your bachelor's, go do your job. But another question will come up is, in my career, what do I need for my advancements? So in some of those civil engineering professions, computer science professions, in order to become a project leader or something like that, you need a graduate degree. So really one is looking at what is it I want to do and what is going to be required of me to do it. The last session, we didn't get a chance to speak about financing. But that's one of the beauty about it is that some of those civil engineering companies, those computer engineering companies, if they like you, they may offer to pay for your graduate program. So keep that in mind. So sometimes going out and working, you might find a company that's willing to sponsor you to come back and get your advanced degrees. But there are going to be fields where you need to get it if you want to go into that profession. Again, counseling comes to mind, teaching at the secondary or post-secondary or secondary or grammar school levels. You have to get a credentials before you can teach. So that's really the first step is knowing where you want to go and what is required to get there. And then you can figure out the map of the steps I'm going to take in order to get to that. But it should be something you should have started thinking about as an undergrad. And if you graduated, it's not too late. And in fact, some of you may have not considered counseling and now you want to go into counseling, but you've not have any experience. So that's something that Rhonda mentioned is that's when volunteer comes in. There are many organizations that are looking for guidance counselors or things like that where you play a mentor role. And honestly, our social work program, our counseling program, they want to see that in you. So if you have an idea what you want to do, look at it, look to see what I got to do to get there. If it is graduate school, what do I need to get into that graduate program? And if you haven't gotten it done yet, volunteering may be a chance to do it. I know Erin mentioned mentoring. The thing about the alumni connection is you might find alumni in the profession and they can help guide you into, look, you need to get this out of the way, get this out of the way and work on getting this, then go for the graduate program.
All right. Well, that leads me perfectly to a question for Erin. Does Sac State help find those mentors? If you're looking in a specific field, if you hadn't considered something as an undergraduate, perhaps, and now you are considering a field, so you don't have a ton of experience with how do you get into that field, what sort of skills or other degrees might I need, certifications. Um, does Sac State help with that? Does being an alum of Sac State help me with this process?
Yes. Oh, should I say more? Yeah. Yeah, so
What does the process and commitment look like?
well, I think, as I mentioned, the Career Network is a great option, and that really offers the opportunity to, if you were trying to get some mentorship done, you want to offer mentorship, or you're really good at resume writing or whatever, you can become a mentor as an alumni, and do it just on your own terms. So set up, 1 half-hour meeting here, 1 half-hour meeting there, to offer that service. If you're on the other end of it and you're trying to get that help, um, again, the Career Network is a great option, but make sure you sign up for the Alumni Association newsletters. We have the different chapters and networks as part of the Alumni Association that you can join based on, either your professional or academic interests in groups, regional groups, identity groups, heritage groups. There's all sorts of ways to stay connected to other engaged alumni who would be willing to help with these sorts of things. It's that networking piece that's really key. And we also offer programming that aligns with that. So we offer a networking mocktail party where we do this twice a year, where you come and we split our main event space into 2 areas. One has a 30-minute workshop about networking, how to do it, why it's important, led usually by Rhonda, who is amazing at in passing this information to our students and recent grads. So as that's happening, dozens of alumni join on the other half of the room and have snacks and drinks and just wait for the workshop to finish, and all those new networkers come in and get to practice those skills with alumni who are eager to help and supportive and hoping to, make your journey a little easier. So those are just a couple things that the Alumni Association offers. And I would also suggest, making sure you keep in contact with your departments that you graduate from. Make sure you know all your administrators, all these people, like it's their job to care about you. It's their job to help you be prepared for this. So um, don't be afraid to create and maintain those connections.
Wonderful piece of advice for sure. We are a Hornet family, our hive, our home. So make sure it doesn't quit on you once you step off campus and kind of move on to the next phase. Um, Once a student has kind of an idea of a career field in mind, maybe they've gotten some advice, they have a resume built out. Erica, can you speak a little bit like where do you search for a job? What is the best way to figure out who's hiring, and how to apply for those jobs?
Oh, definitely. There's really good resources. We particularly really like labor market insights. And I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the chat. So Labor Market Insights is a tool that helps you find geographically located employment opportunities, Sacramento County specifically. Students use that tool to even check out neighboring counties if they're not necessarily finding what they're looking for at the moment. But it is a really great tool to help you really understand not only what are the commitments to that position, but what are some of the qualifications, particularly academically, and it gives you a list of top 20 employers. And this is real-time data updated every 24 hours. And these top 20 employers, what people tend to do is go into those employer websites to check out their job boards and see what positions they have available. Some employers even have internship opportunities for recent graduates. So it's always a good thing to research that, and also to help you prepare your career documentation because it also gives you a list of expected growth. It gives you a list of technical skills and competencies that you might have. It even provides you with an additional list of potential job titles to help you expand your search and you're not so stuck on this tunnel vision of just searching for the one title. So that one is our favorite because of the localized information that it offers. But we also have what can I do with this major listed under the featured tools section in the main web page. And what can I do with this major not only helps you explore what are a great variety of occupations and branches within the industry of interest that you might want to pursue. It gives you information on the associations, which are the experts in the field, to give you a lot of great insights on the current trends so that you are prepared to engage with professional conversations and preparedness with your documentation. And those associations tend to have their own job boards as well. Those you probably would be needing to use filters. You'll also probably be using filters with the employment opportunities that are listed under the What Can I Do with This Major resource. And those links that you find on the page that you're visiting are specific to the major that you're researching. So you're not just following a bunch of job board links. With no focus. The job board links through What Can I Do with This Major are focused to the major you're researching. Although you will be using filters, you will be finding very direct opportunities for the roles of interest. And then, of course, as already mentioned and by the colleagues here, the number one approach to career development will always be networking. You want to make sure that you're connected with your thank you. Yes, the link for What Can I Do is majors up on the chat now for you. You definitely want to stay connected to like-minded people. That's actually even theory-based. Happenstance theory must find an environment that's likely to produce the opportunities that one is looking for. So do stay connected with the Sac State Career Network. Connect with professionals that can give you an insight on how to connect not only with people here on campus and alumni, that are also like-minded. You also can find a lot of resources out in the community. So, for example, while we have the career fair here at Sac State, if you go through, like, for example, Eventbrite, you'll find a lot of career fairs going on that are role specific in the community. So stay engaged, stay connected, and find specific resources to achieve the better chances of finding those job opportunities. And I know I'm going on here. I can really geek out on this, but the one other thing that you might want to check out on our website, we currently have started a new um, internship program for recent graduates as well, alumni, and it is called eWorks Career Leagues, which is in our spotlight section of our main webpage at the Career Center. You'll check out some of the qualifications, and you may qualify to gain some very in-depth support with your professional development. So please do check that out.
Love it. Always adding new resources and new
Yes.
features. That's great to hear. Um, I think there comes a time when you've got the job positions, you know what you want to apply for. Rhonda, are you maybe able to talk about from a volunteering perspective as well as somebody who hires quite a bit, what kind of hot tips do you have for crafting that resume in a way that speaks to employers and stands out when they've got a stack or a whole list of applicants in their inbox?
Yeah, thanks for that question. Don't minimize your volunteer time. I hear a lot of people go, well, I only volunteered for them 10 hours a week. I'm like, 10 hours a week? I need you to put that all over your resume, right? So don't minimize your volunteer time. It is critical to be able to speak to your volunteer time like it is work experience. If I'm president of the Sac State Alumni Association, I ran lots of people who are on that board. I helped with staffing, I helped with volunteer time. So you have to be able to really speak to your volunteer time like it's your work experience. And the best way to do that is not only to make sure it's on your resume under volunteer experience, but you speak to it in the cover letter. I often tell people that want to get jobs at SMUD, they're like, well, how do I get past HR when 300 people are applying for the same job? And I'm like, you literally need to have the job description and your cover letter speak to each other, right? And so if the job description says, community outreach, you need to have community outreach over on the other side in your cover letter. And that could be something you did with your volunteer. Maybe you were part of American Heart Association and you helped get the word out about heart health. Okay. Talk about that in your cover letter. And that's the kind of stuff and how you led teams to talk about heart health. So you got to be really crafty about not just minimizing your volunteer experience, but really maximizing it when you're lacking in work experience.
I think too that goes for your undergraduate experience as a whole. If you were a research assistant, if you supported any of your instructors, or any of the kind of resource centers on campus, if you volunteered your time there or just spent time there, um, in a more unofficial capacity, make sure that's highlighted as well. Maybe it's not fully aligned on your resume, but you can speak to it in your cover letter to help yourself kind of craft your story there. That's, I think, a big piece of what we want to emphasize with all of you. Um, Erin, I don't know if you mentioned this already, but the Career Network does offer some of those kind of tutorials, those resources on cover letters and resumes and other
Yes.
key parts of the process, right?
Yeah, yeah. So in addition to the mentorship side of things, the Career Network also offers hundreds of career guides, like guidebooks. It also has tons of videos, a wide library of these sorts of things that can help you along your career path. It also has industry guidebooks that'll tell you this industry is taking off, or this industry, maybe this is how much money you'll make. All sorts of information that will help you decide what is the right move for you.
Awesome. Thank you. I do want to mention before I'm going to jump back to Jose a little bit. If you do have a question as a participant, as a listener, that you want our panelists to address, please drop it in the Q&A feature. And we hope to get to those in a few minutes here, or maybe we'll cover them. But as we talk about kind of the job application process, Jose, is the grad school application process similar? Is it a little bit different? What's the process there?
Is similar in as much as many programs, not all programs, but many programs will ask you actually for two types of, sometimes a resume, but sometimes they'll ask you for two different types of statements. And sometimes these get confused. As Sac State alumni, of course, we're going to ask for transcripts, but since you've already submitted everything, we have it all here. Unless you attend school now that you've graduated, maybe you go take some more classes at a community college or something else, those would be new transcripts you would need to submit. But anything that's part of your undergraduate career that's already been submitted, we have. Now the statements, there are typically two types. One is a statement of purpose and one is a personal statement. And sometimes we get these confused and there is overlap between the two of them. A statement of purpose is pretty much your goals. Why do you want to go into this field? What is it you hope to accomplish? This also requires you know about the program. What does the program offer? What is the campus like? Because part of this is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. And this is how the university can help me achieve it. And to answer those kind of questions, you need to be familiar with what is the goal of the university, what is the university's mission statement, and stuff like that. So that's your statement of purpose. It's kind of really focused as into why do I want to get here? And you can mention your volunteers in those statements as well. If you've done volunteer work and that's what led you to want to go and pursue this, this is why you want to do that. You would also include that in your personal statement because part of your personal statement is really more your motivation. This is who I am. This is why I want to study what I want to study. What is the thing that's driving you? You know, so more of a personal, it doesn't have to be completely personal, but it is personal in the sense of this is my motivation. In both of these statements, oftentimes what some students ignore, and this has been stressed, don't ignore your volunteer work because that says a lot. And then even to the degree of the people you work with, the types of people you work with. Again, a lot of immigrant children or children who come from immigrant families, they don't ever see themselves as this cultural bridge. And yet when schools are talking about, we want somebody who can cross these things and work with people of different backgrounds and stuff. Well, you do that on a daily basis. You live in the greater American society, and sometimes your relatives don't understand what this means or that means, and you're caught being a cultural translator. You don't think of it that way because it's your daily life. It's what I got to do. Sometimes I have to explain to my mom, no, this isn't what this means. It's what this means. And it's just something that you develop, but you don't think of it as anything else extraordinary, but it is. It's your ability to move between cultures to connect things that might be different. And so depending on your role, you may do that even in your church with church community members or whatever it is. Don't ignore those things. Those are things that speak to a skill set that you have. And again, you can tie it into your personal statement and your statement of purpose. But the personal statement is more your motivation. Why do you want to do this? Why are you heading in this direction? Your personal goal is this is what I want to accomplish and how I plan to get there. And this is how the university can help me achieve this.
Thank you. And I know you've spoken before about researching the place you want to go. Is it the right grad program for you? And sort of aligning what how you're applying to what program you're applying for. Yes, I think I got that.
Some students don't think about that. Some
Yeah.
students are like, I can't be in the country. Well, then don't apply it to a university. I mean, hey, there's some great ones, but they're out in the middle of nowhere. And, it's almost like I can't deal with the crazy city life. Sacramento's not a big city. Sacramento's small. It's kind of an in-between thing. It's a lot different if you were going to school in San Francisco, LA, or New York. So you have to be real with those things too, is can I handle that? Uh, can I handle the culture? I mean, I've known students who've gone to a school simply because of its reputation, only to find out they couldn't handle the culture there. And that's not just the culture on campus, but the culture that surrounds the campus. So that's also something that you need to keep in mind.
Great.
And besides, if coming from California, there are places where you're not going to get the kind of food and cultural diversity that we are so accustomed to here in California.
Yes, I immediately went avocados. If you go to the Midwest, good luck on your avocados. Um, I think that applies to jobs too. If you're thinking, if hopefully you have a little bit of opportunity of where you might be looking for jobs, you still do want to consider where it is you are applying to jobs that will affect, impact and affect your work-life balance. So, something to keep in mind as you get there. I think I'm going to jump to the Q&A at this point. One, Erica, I don't know if you can see the Q&A, but if we have a link to that the recent grad internship, so the eWorks internship, they're both about eWorks, I think. If there's a link to where you mentioned that, if we have the link for that, we can put that in the chat or directly in the Q&A. That would be great. And then aside from the eWorks internship, do specific departments at Sac State offer internships? I know while you're a student, there are some opportunities. Are there post-grad internship opportunities as well?
So I just posted the main Career Center website, and immediately when you get to the website, you'll see an area that says Spotlight. Right there with Spotlight, you'll see immediately the eWorks Career League's interest form for you to complete. In regard to recent graduates, there are some programs now, while realistically there are much more limited internships for recent graduates. You do want to keep in mind that some programs do also have very tight timelines. Some only take recent graduates within the year. Others might even bring it down to about 6 months. So depending on some timelines is the type of opportunities you can find. The career the intern network also has some potential opportunities for recent graduates. I know that you can also find some opportunities for experiential learning opportunities within our student employment section under a Parker Dewey micro internships. These are contracted opportunities that are provided to employment seekers from companies that only need some projects done. But again, there are a couple of resources also dependent on potential interest. So do reach out to the Career Center to set up an appointment, or reach out and connect with us about the resources that we can provide you to help you find those potential opportunities. I know there are also some posted through employer websites. So again, labor market insights, going into employers' internship programs and seeing about qualifications.
Laura, I wanted to plug in one program that we do offer. It's not actually an internship program. And the only requirement is that you have a bachelor's degree, but you would have to apply through the Center for California Studies. It is a government fellowship program into the four branches or four areas, which is the Assembly, the Senate, the Executive, Judicial. For students who are interested in political science or government, they can sign up for this. It's a year-long program. It's a fellowship. You will register for taking classes only in spring. But the two classes that we do offer are transferable to graduate programs, either in political science or other graduate programs in government. So in our case, public policy and our political science, you can use those two classes toward the degree itself. But that would give you, if you're interested in how the government works, that is one program that we do offer. They only admit 68 to the program.
Yes, very prestigious program, but a great opportunity. We're in Sacramento. We are in the capital of California. So a great connecting piece there. Um, Erin, I wanted to ask you too about just if maybe not an on-campus internship, what are those resources of those professors you had, the instructors in your department? How can recent grads kind of use those people and those connections as a resource as they kind of explore, move into the career field? Should they keep in touch, basically?
Yes, keep in touch. Keep in touch as much as possible. Like I mentioned, everyone who works at Sac State is here to help students become successful alumni. So keep in touch with your professors, your the folks in your college. Um, is that what you're asking me? Okay,
I think
yes.
so. Yeah, they're gonna I just think of, they also have career field connections, right? That you might not have known
Yes.
as the student in the class, but as instructors, they're also connected to the professionals of the field in a lot of ways and a lot of times.
That's absolutely true. And if you have already graduated without making those connections, reach out to the college or the department office and see, do you all have a career fair or any kind of way for me to connect with professionals in the area?
Excellent. Thank you. Um, let's see, a question just came in. Trying to make sure I understand it fully. Should I, a recent grad, volunteer for the job that related to my major or for the job that I'm interested in but may not pay well? Or maybe how do you balance both? Um, Rhonda,
Yes.
Erin, yeah, yes, please.
So that is a very interesting question, and I can't answer that with a straight answer because you got to pay your bills. So sometimes our passions are not the first thing we get to do. Bills have to be paid. So it really depends. Back in the day when I was at Sac State, a sophomore in college. I took a job. It's going to be funny because remember, it was 1993 for $5.75 an hour, right? But I was able to do that because my parents were paying for the tuition and the rent and the other things. So I can't tell you to pick a job that you're passionate about that pays less if you can't pay your bills. Got to eat. But what I can tell you is you could also get the job, what I told my son, get the job that you don't love right now and find your passion on the side to the one day where you're able to afford to do what you want to do. So it's not an immediate yes or no, because no one can tell you that without, I know he has to pay his rent and his car payment. So it's not an immediate yes or no. You should really think about what you can afford and also using the available time to do your volunteer. I can speak for myself. I probably watch way too much reality TV in one week. I could be utilizing that time for something more productive.
But if it speaks to your heart, Rhonda, go for it.
It speaks to my heart.
It teaches you what not to do as well.
Yeah,
There you
Um,
go.
and I just want to add, like like we're talking about, there's so many resources here at Sac State that maybe you weren't aware of when you were a student. The same is true of jobs. Often jobs will have resources to help you improve both professionally and just as a person, but you have to seek them out. Bosses aren't going to be like, take they're not going to tell you all the things that you could possibly do that'll take time away from your work, but will help you succeed. So, for example, work at a Cal State if you can, if you know you want to go to a grad school, because I got to go to grad school for practically free because I work at Sac State, and my partner could too. So just make sure you're utilizing all the benefits available to you, and often that means seeking them out.
Yes, exactly. I think Jose has spoken to that too, that sometimes jobs give you that
Right.
opportunity to pursue further education.
But I think that's the hidden secret about the CSU, is that throughout the Cal State system, they will pay up to 6 units a semester. So, and on average, our average graduate students, since they are working students, are usually taking about two classes a semester, except for the counseling and stuff, because that's a big program. Counseling and social work are 60 unit programs. Uh, all the other ones average about 30. So, 2.5 years you'll be done, but you won't pay for the tuition part of it, at least. You still have to pay for your books and stuff like that. But yeah, it's one where that's a benefit that people aren't aware of, that, yeah, if you're employed by a CSU, and even if you have children, your children can attend any CSU. So if you're employed here at Sac State and your kid wants to go to San Francisco State, it'll cover the tuition 6 units over there as well. So yeah, look for the benefits of your employer.
Yeah, I agree. My daughter's in fifth grade, but I'm already eyeing which CSU she might be interested in. But Rhonda also put in the chat some information about SMUD does tuition reimbursements. Other companies throughout the region and across the country offer these programs. They want to invest in you in the hopes that you're
Yeah.
going to, invest in their company or their organization. So it's mutually beneficial. Um, and I also wanted to circle back to what Rhonda said, the advice she gave her son. You're not committing to like your lifelong career right now. Don't panic if you haven't figured it all out. Um, I think times have significantly changed from like you start your job that offers a pension and you do it until you retire. Um, those were generations past. Some of those jobs still do exist. Um, but it's a different workplace. It's a different workforce. Erica's got all of those resources that kind of show us that. So there's lots of opportunities out there, lots of resources available to figure out. It doesn't have to be the forever. It can just be the kind of what's next or what's right now. So that's what I'm hearing from all of you. Did any of our panelists have kind of one last piece of information or advice you wanted to drop on our participants before we sign off for the evening?
There is one warning I give students, because this is the worst. The hardest thing is if you're trying to do a completely different program. And I have encountered some students like that, and it's a nightmare because keep in mind, you may have to do a second bachelor's. For example, somebody who got a degree in English, but now they want to go into communication disorders. Their programs, prerequisites are so much that you will need to do a second bachelor's before you can apply to that program. So that is something to keep in mind, is that is the program I want completely different than what I'm going into. I got a degree in arts and letters, and now I want to go into computer science. So that is probably the biggest warning, is that if you're going to do graduate school, don't make it so different from your undergraduate where you're basically having to get another bachelor's degree before you can apply.
And I'm going to piggyback off of that to say, don't wait forever to do your master's degree. There are 23 years between my undergrad and my master's, and it hurts as an old person. I'm just saying, don't rush into it, but also do not take the 2-decade break like I did. Don't do it.
You are in student mode now. You may want to kind of keep that mode going just a little bit longer before you fully switch into career mode. But I would like to say, your alumni association will be here for you, whatever mode you're in, whatever phase of your career you're in. So as we wrap up today, thank you to our panelists for sharing your advice, your expertise, all that knowledge you've got, all those resources. They will be shared with our participants after our session today. So look for those communications from us, a link to this video. We are recording this conversation so that you can refer back to it and see, maybe as your thoughts develop or you change your mind about what's next down the road, come back to those resources again. So on behalf of the Sacramento State Alumni Association and Sacramento State as a whole, welcome to the Hornet alumni family. We are so glad you have made it, and we're happy to have you. We look forward to engaging with you at upcoming events. Or wherever you might find Sacramento State. So thank you so much for being here and attending our event today. And have a great evening. Stingers up.